and welcome back to Sparkle Me Pink. My name's Michelle, and today I'm going to be sharing 5 of the most common skincare mistakes that I see clients doing every single day. Now, these 5 individual bullet points, I could probably go in depth in a whole separate video for each individual one. They're gonna be just like lightly generically touching on the subject. So if you're interested in seeing things that are a little bit more depth with certain topics throughout the video, definitely sound off in the comments down below so I know what you want to watch. I also would be interested in adding to this series by doing maybe like a Ask an SD question and answer type of video where I would have a list of your questions, perhaps sound off on Instagram or comment down below or in our private Facebook group, which you can request to join in the description box. All of the links to everything will be there, and I will likely do an extended blog post about everything I'm talking about today in case there's anything I missed or think of after the fact. As always, before we get started, do not forget to hit the little bell notification so you get a pop-up on your phone when we upload a video here on Sparkle Me Pink. I don't have a regular filming or editing or uploading schedule, so definitely have that on so you know when content goes live. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful or at the very least entertaining. It helps me out a ton and I very much so appreciate it. So how this video kind of all came about is I started hearing the same common like little tweaks and mistakes going on with each of my clients, and then I was in a Facebook group, not my own but a separate like beauty Facebook group where they were talking about New Year's resolutions, and almost every single person who commented on it, like what their resolution was going to be, was to focus on their skincare, learn more about skincare, something along the lines of skin. And I'm like, that's me, this is what I do. So I was super pumped to hear that there's so many people out there excited to learn more about skincare. I mean, that's my jam, so pick my brain, let me know what you want to know. So let's go ahead and jump into the first common skincare mistake. Now, right before I say the first one, I do want to say if you are making any of these mistakes, it's okay. This is why we have this friendship. This is why we're working together. We can do things to fix it, tweak it, and adjust it moving forward. As you know, your skincare is all preventative. There are some measures we can take that are a bit more progressive to reverse the signs of different adverse things that we have going on in the skin. However, 99.9% of skincare is prevention. We're preventing any of those issues from happening. So the first one is going to be the most important in doing so. And that is for those that do not have a skincare routine at all. Whether they don't believe in skincare, whether they just don't know where to start. Consistency is how you achieve your results. So doing your daytime routine and your nighttime routine every single day is going to be leaps and bounds over just doing it in the morning or just doing it at night. This can also kind of be broken down into the certain clients that I'm talking to, like, oh, tell me a little bit about your routine. There'll be ones that are like, I don't use moisturizer at all, ever. Don't do it. My skin doesn't need it. I'm super oily. I don't need it. Whereas me, in my personal practice, in my belief, if you are oily, that means you're a little bit imbalanced. You need to have the hydration, and it's great that you're oily. You're not going to get wrinkles as quickly, but you need to make sure your skin knows that it's okay, and it doesn't need to be producing as much oil. We need to balance you back out. So using a lightweight, maybe a gel-like texture, something very light and fluffy, with moisturizing the skin is imperative. And then there are the clients that don't wear sunscreen, whether they don't believe in sunscreen, perhaps they don't like chemical sunscreens, they want a physical SPF, but then they don't wear that because they find it to be a hassle, or they don't want flash back on the. How often are we using flash? Really? Unless you were like in a wedding, and even then they're usually using natural light, you're not going to have the flashback. Protect your skin, it's going to be okay. The number one culprit of aging is the sun. It is the biggest free radical producing aspect in our skincare ecosystem. So wear your sunscreen every single day, even when you feel like you're not getting any sun exposure or you're in an office or whatever your excuse is. Those houseplants in the middle of the room are getting sun exposure to do their photosynthesis at some point. So that means your skin is getting exposed to that UV radiation as well. You need to protect it. That'll help prevent fine lines, wrinkles, hyperpigmentation, even acne. all of those things can slightly be diminished simply by using moisturizers and SPF. There's a lot more that goes into combating those skincare issues as well, but those are where we want to start. The second most common skincare mistake that I come across with clients is not cleansing properly. And again, this is something I could talk in length about, and I have some bullet points laid out for like a totally separate video, so let me know if you're interested in seeing that. But this is huge, especially during your nighttime routine. If you are going to bed, if you are falling asleep, leaving the day on, whether you wear makeup or not, you are aging your skin. You are clogging your pores. You are leading towards aging your skin at like 10 times the rate. Back in school, my professor was like, if you sleep with your makeup on just one night, you are aging yourself a whole week. Just for one night. I would also like to note that removing the day simply with just makeup wipes is not good enough. You are using harsh surfactants, you're leaving that on your skin. If you are not cleansing afterwards, plus you're like tugging at it because you're trying to get it off quickly, I'm telling you, it is not the way to go. It is not better. You are way better off using a gentle oil cleanser or a frothy foaming cleanser to remove the day. And then even if that's where you need to end it, I understand we have tough schedules. I understand that a lot of us have young kids. I get it, but you have to take that moment for yourself or you will regret it later on. Because then you'll be in your 40s and your 50s and be like, wow, I'm starting to get these lines and like pigmentation and all this stuff, which I am all about graceful aging. This is definitely not a video saying like we need to look 20 for the rest of our lives, by far. But if you could fast forward real quick, like in a movie style thing, to when you're in your like 50s or 60s and see your skin, and then like go back and do it again, but when you're using like proper cleansing and moisturizer and SPF, and see the difference and be like, which one would you pick? The one who did a little bit of cleansing and took care of their skin at a younger age. Our skin can be a little petty. It holds on to things. It has a memory and it will pull all that baggage out later in our later years. Another thing with cleansing, and then I'll move on, I promise, is using a toner to remove excess makeup. That is not what a toner is for. Maybe if you have like a little just like over here and you're like, oh, I forgot that spot. I'll remember to do a couple extra circles over in that area tomorrow. That I get, it's fine. But when you are going all over the skin with your toner and coming up with a whole cotton swab filled with makeup, that is not the purpose of a toner. So that brings me to number 3, the most common mistake that I hear the most of is confusing your products and ingredients. I feel like I'm getting a little hostile. Am I getting a little bit like mama bear on you? Let me take a drink and calm down. That was an emergency because I'm feeling that little bit of getting a cold tickle. Not today. I'm not gonna no. We're not doing this. Okay, so confusing products. The first one is going to be toners, essence, tonics, and astringents. Sometimes it's even hard for me to remember all 4. Toners, those are going to rebalance the pH in your skin after cleansing, and they do sometimes have some small skincare benefits. Essences, they're very lightweight. They're more so to prep the skin so that it can accept the next few products better, because the more hydrated your skin is, the more it's going to accept the products and absorb the products even better. Tonics, these are often treatments, things that have like glycolics. Think of the one from Pixie, the Glow Tonic. That's how you might be able to remember that one. These are more treatments. They're going to do something for you. They should probably not be used every single day. It's very rare. Toners, you'd probably be okay using those every day. Essences, you could probably get away with using those twice a day if you really wanted to. These ones are a little more fancy. Tonics, using it a couple times a week. Astringents, these are going to be the things that they often have alcohols, they often might have a little bit of salicylic, something in them that's going to kill the bacteria or inhibit the growth of bacteria. These are great for after you do extractions, whether you're like within a facial. I use an astringent on the areas that I was like working on with a client to make sure that I'm not spreading the bacteria. Astringents are great for drying out certain areas. If you have like just a full-blown acne area, using a light astringent on that area just once or twice, but don't overdo it, because that's another thing. And is that one of the ones? I think I'll talk about that a little bit later when we're overdoing things. So we'll sidebar that one. Another thing people get confused about, or maybe just kind of like going back and forth, is the difference between a chemical exfoliant and a physical exfoliant. I'm not going to go in depth right now, but they are vastly different for 2 different types of skin issues, and not everyone should be using a chemical exfoliation, and not everyone should be using a physical exfoliation. So let's sidebar that conversation for another day. And the last thing that I hear clients get like confused about the most often are the different acids. Things like glycolic, salicylic, hyaluronic, they all have acid at the end of the name, and yet all those 3 that I just named off are totally different. We have our AHAs, our alpha hydroxy acids, our BHAs, our beta hydroxy acids, and then we kind of have like these ones that are in the middle of the road. Since when I think of hyaluronic acid, that is a humectant. That's something that's going to be pulling water and holding water. It's a little water hoarder on the skin. Whereas our salicylics, I think that was over here, is going to be coating the pore in the pilosebaceous gland and keeping it nice and lubricated so we can get the sebum, the oils out of the pore a little bit easier. So it inhibits the overgrowth of oils sitting in the pore, which means you're not going to have as many breakouts, because the more that your sebum sits in there, the more chances you have for growing bacteria, which would result in a pimple. So that's why salicylic works so well. And then we have things like glycolics and lactic acids. Those are going to be resurfacers. Those create little baby micro injuries in the skin to resurface the skin and get it to renew, so we have fresh, new healthy tissue coming up to the top. Moving on to the 4th most common mistake that I hear with my clients is going to be using products wrong, using them at the wrong times of the day, using them just wrong all in general. So you should always be applying your products from lightest in weight or lightest medium to the heaviest in application. So your typical routine could look something like your cleansers, your toner, your exfoliator, then going in with a humectant. Things like hyaluronic acid, those have a tiny little molecular weight, so they're going to drive in the deepest and hold into the moisture that was on the skin from just patting off your cleansers and exfoliators. Then go in with your eye creams or eye gel, followed up by your spot treatments, whether that be for some acne marks or maybe focusing on some wrinkles and applying those more spot targeted treatments to those areas. Moving on to your rejuvenating serums, things like vitamin C in the morning or retinols at night. Both of those should also have some peptides and antioxidants in them to promote the health of the skin. But the vitamin C is gonna kind of help with the brightening and help your SPF work a little bit better, little sidebar there. And the retinols at night are going to help with the resurfacing, smoothing out the skin, really kind of refining the areas that we want to focus on and not look so pore heavy. For instance, right up in here, if you have some visible pores, add in some retinol into your routine very slowly. Maybe like start off with like a Monday, Friday routine, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then a Monday through Friday, and see how your skin reacts to that. If you have any irritation, redness, dryness, scale back, you're doing it too quickly. We have to be patient with our skin. And that probably should have been another rule, is that being patient. It's going to create a change eventually if you're using some quality clinical products. However, you have to go slow. I guess technically this goes into my 5th most common mistake that I hear from clients, and that is going to be mixing ingredients that deactivate each other or are too harsh together. This is most commonly seen in, I either have a client that over exfoliates or doesn't exfoliate at all, and both are an issue. Both ends of that spectrum are not okay, because either way the skin barrier is compromised and then you're going to be more prone to redness, irritation. Your skin is not going to be absorbing the quality products that you're putting on there, so you are just wasting your time and money and efforts and not seeing the change in your skin. The clients that are not exfoliating, they definitely need to get rid of that dead layer of skin. Otherwise you're just putting product on top of product on top of dead skin that is blocking it from the good healthy tissue. So you're just wasting your time and efforts at that point. Starting off with something like a lactic acid, that has a larger molecular weight than the glycolic acid, and lactic acid is perfect for those that have like slightly sensitive skin or sensitized skin. Now on the other end of the spectrum, if you are over exfoliating, you are sensitizing your skin, which is going to be more prone to redness. It's going to be super thin, it's not going to be as vibrant, and your skin's to be so freaking out with anything you put on there that you're going to feel like, wow, I guess I should just not be doing this. None of this is working. It's not that it's not working. It's that you're doing too much too quickly and your skin is freaking out. It doesn't know what to do. And it can also lead to some dry patches. Sometimes I get that because I get excited about using new products and I want to see the change in my skin. I'll get a breakout and I'll want to try all 4 acne products that I have, and I'm like, no. Just remember to slow down, use one thing at a time at each stage of the pimple, and it will be okay. It will go away. Like, it's already here, too bad, so sad, deal with it. Now let's do some things to make it go away a little bit quicker, calm down the infection, the inflammation. That's just something I personally deal with. There's lots of other skin ailments out there, hyperpigmentation and post-inflammatory responses and rosacea, overall flushing and redness. There's so much I could go into. But basically what it all comes down to is that your exfoliation needs to be in a rotation. Chemical exfoliation, physical exfoliation, take a break, use some really great hydrating masks, get back into your chemical exfoliation, physical exfoliation, and start again. Whew, I will get off my SD high horse right now. I feel like I slammed so much information at you today. I hope it was all delivered in a way that makes sense and was super helpful. I am of course open to hearing your feedback. This is something I'm passionate about, so sometimes my emotions and my hands and my inner New Yorker can kind of come out, so I do appreciate you being here with me and sitting through my skincare lecture. Again, if you found this helpful or at the very least entertaining, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. I am looking forward to reading your comments, and I look forward to guiding you through your skincare journey going through 2020. That is so weird to say, 2020. Gosh, I feel like it was like 1990, like 5 years ago. So wild. All right, I'll let you go. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.